4 for 4 on field goals on the night. And Miami Sunset High School. I didn't even know is Miami Sunset High School still around, Woody? Is there still a Miami Sunset High School? Never talk about them, but what a story, man. What a story all the way around. 49ers go to 4-1 on the season, and that's got to be a tough loss for the Rams last night. Got to be tough. Two plays. Fumble going in. Got to kill you in that 4th and 1. You got the field goal, and they're going for the win in overtime. And
you're okay with that call, right?
I don't care. Yeah.
You got to go for the win there, right? Because
Yes.
I guess you take the field goal, best case scenario, you tie, right?
You don't want to tie.
No.
Ties are.
But you probably
ties.
You got a good shot to lose the game because of this, weird kickoff and all that.
I just think I thought the whole thing with 4th and 1. By the way, have you ever noticed, because this is a second guest special, if 4th and 1 in a critical situation like it was in overtime, can't be more than that. You take timeouts and you run the ball up the middle, and they're going, you spend all that time.
Timeouts.
On the sideline, going through everything. And this is what you came up with. A guy that's considered to be one of the best offensive coaches in football, and got a whole bunch of guys that have coached under him that are all spread out through the NFL. And this is what you came up with. I mean, it's a great second guess. He obviously looked at matchups and his offensive line against their defensive line and all that, and they stopped them.
They weren't even close.
No,
it was a really crappy play, man.
What a way. And that was it. That was ball game right there. 49ers go cheering, went in, showered, and took a quick trip right back up to Northern California, man. And that was the ball game. But hey, man, that is one of the cool ones, because I saw all day yesterday, all the brilliant ones. Oh, my God, 49ers playing with their backup quarterback, Mac Jones. He's not even 100%. All their receivers are out. Everybody knows Nick Bosa's been out. He's out for the year. I mean, they're just they're banged up again this year. They went in there and got a win. And it just says a lot, man. It says a lot about your depth. Kendrick Bourne becomes the number 1 receiver. Mac Jones I think he had one of his best games ever. And by the way, maybe we got to start looking at system and coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, that thing's impressive, man.
That guy in 49er, he's a good coach, man.
Yes. Nobody does more with less than that franchise, right?
They're up there.
I know they've had some good teams, but they've done a lot with mediocre quarterback play.
They are.
Jimmy G was playing in the Super Bowl down here.
You're right.
I think he played 2 Super Bowls for them, didn't he?
49ers seem to have less problems through the years. They had, listen, now they had the great handoff. We call it the great NFL handoff from Joe Montana to Steve Young.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one. But
I don't think Brock Purdy's anything more than average.
Well, I got to tell you, you're going to start going
good.
Now the Mac Jones, we probably have Patriot fans up early this morning going, oh, don't tell us about Mac friggin' Jones. Maybe you start looking, though, a little bit about Mac Jones in this offense. Those quick throws and all those things, and throws he made across the middle last night. A lot of good stuff. Anyway, hey, man, it's kind of cool to know that you can be a heavy underdog and win, and it's not just a slam dunk that you're going to get blown out, or it's not going to be a very good game, or you can go to bed early and all that, because 49ers jumped out on them early in that game, and the Rams did come back, but end up losing that game. Wild game last night. Hey, man, we got the big one tomorrow night. It's really weird to say that. Tomorrow night, Miami, who'll be leaving today, is going up to Tallahassee to play Florida State. We can finally play. Now, there's going to be a lot of parts of this game we're going to be talking about. Kane's first road game. Yes, it's a lot different than playing at home. It is. It's going to be loud up there. Tallahassee, probably those kids already getting lathered up, probably canceled school for a couple of days to get going. And all the Florida State alum will be up there. And they're going to go, all right, we're going to let that Virginia game go because our guys can be jacked up like maybe they weren't jacked up to play Virginia. They will in this one. And again, how will you play when there's a lot of noise and all of a sudden Carson Beck calls something or checks to something, somebody doesn't get it? How sloppy are you going to act like you've been there and done it? But this is their first road game of the season in week 5 of their schedule, game 5 of their schedule coming up here. So, yeah, and you know the deal. Tommy Castellanos can run and throw, and we got another one of those dual threat quarterbacks. Can you stop him? Because he drops back, and he sees you don't have containment on the outside, or he sees a big hole between a guard and a center, and he looks and he sees man-to-man down the field. Tommy's gone. Tommy, run, Tommy. Run, Tommy, run. That dude is going to take off, man. He is going to take off and run. And you've seen a little bit of that. But you know what, Woody? Line of scrimmage, man. It is what Mario wanted. It looks like it finally. More than any other position, when Mario took over this job, the two most important positions to him and areas of the team were the D-line and the O-line. If you know Mario, he wants those kind of dudes. He was around UM when they had all those really good defensive lines, and he likes this big offensive line thing that he started in Oregon and brought here with him. And he's got it. He's got, I don't know where we're going to rank this offensive line, but it ranks right up there with as good of offensive lines as they've ever had. Nothing against the old guys that still live here and have retired in this town, but they've got some good-looking big dudes on that starting with the guys on the outside, Bell and Maui Noah, and working inside. Looks like Inez Cooper's had a good year so far, Woody, at that right guard. And can they keep it going? I will tell you, we talk about their run blocking. I think their pass protection's been unbelievable. If you don't blitz, Carson Beck got a lot of time to throw the football. I'll bet you Carson Beck, when he goes, hey, Mom and Dad, see all that time I had? How about that compared to what I had in Georgia last year?
No, there were some plays in that Florida game, Joe. He was just standing back there, but he needs to be a little better in this game. But this is going to be an interesting one on the run game for both of these teams, right? Florida State's run game is really good, so we'll see how they do on that side of the ball. And you know, Miami's defensive linebackers are going to get tested in this one, certainly. But yeah, I think Carson Beck does need to be a little bit better. This could be the type of game that there's some points scored, right?
I'm guessing if we come out of this game and he throws an interception and no touchdowns, that's probably and that was I just did the Florida numbers, and we can't have those. But
yeah, I just don't see this as a low scoring, unless you do. I don't see this necessarily as a low scoring game. Like,
no, I think you got to score. I'm with you. Now, the problem when you look, the Florida State Seminoles have the number 1 offense in the country. The problem is they racked up about 140 points, if I'm not mistaken, on the 2 weak sisters that they beat up on. Can we still say that, weak sisters?
I don't know. Whatever.
The 2 weak sisters in the schedule. That was something they used to say when I was a kid.
And then that last game, they played,
my sister didn't appreciate
overtime
it.
And also,
So anyway,
but it's the fabulous second best run offense in the whole country too. So yeah, they got to get after that thing,
good.
man.
They're good everything they do. I mean, you start talking about having a number 1 offense. Canes had it last year. You got a good idea what it looks like, and then, hey, listen, man, we've been bragging about them. We need to see another. If you're truly the best combination of pass rushers and edge guys in college football, we need to see Bain and Mesidor have that kind of game. Listen, there's no question. I got to tell you, I'm not surprised on how good Bain is, because we saw this his freshman year. He's at a different level right now because he worked so hard on his game. The one that's really picked it up to me is Mesidor. Mesidor is, he's a little bit older, been around. He was asked to play inside. Listen, I don't think either one of those guys are crazy about playing inside. I think it looks good on the resume for the NFL, but I think they'd rather be a little bit lighter and play outside. Pass rushing is where it's at for those two, and they got the moves and the quickness, and they're healthy. So, and then let Moten, Blay, and Scott take care of the inside and their rotation of defensive tackles. Has got a lot of experience, man, especially with Blay and Moten now. And Scott, still at times looks like a 5-star. Got to get the engine going. Got to, still not quite there. But Man, I'll just tell you, this is going to be a fun one. Hey, I'll give you another one. One-on-one with Deuce Robinson on the outside. 6'6", and he looks like a hell of a player. I can't wait to see it. I don't think they're going to double him. I think they're going to tell those two corners, hey, man, you guys, we think you guys are really good on the outside. And a couple of the other guys that play as well. Like, you may get a little help in the middle, but on takeoffs, you got to cover them. We can't be giving up an extra guy playing deep when we got some problems we got to worry about on the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, just a lot of cool matchups here for the game, and you probably watch all your favorite podcasters and everybody breaking all these games down for you. But that was part of it, man. But yeah, Florida State has put up some gaudy numbers. I mean, they literally made me go back. I forgot who they played, but they did. Listen, you put 70 and 60 something on an opponent, you just got to throw those two games out. And I get it. You're going to have them on your schedule. There's nothing wrong. You want to get some work in there, but yeah, but those numbers.
One was Kent State. They put 66 on them.
East Carolina State.
The other one was no, it was East Texas A&M.
East Texas A&M. That's what it was. I knew it had an East. Yeah. I knew it had East something to it, man. Anyway,
that does sound like a made-up school, does it not?
Well, listen, we've been known to put a few of those. We know who they are, but we've been known to put a few. Canes have been known to put a few on them too. I know, but listen, man, that's how you become the number one offense is you got to run it up on them too. They gave up
46 points to Virginia in double overtime. Okay.
Yeah.
You should be able to score some points on these guys. But Carson Beck is going to have to make some plays in this game.
I got to tell you, Virginia ran on them. I was surprised. The surprise to me is Virginia's able to run the football. And I thought they'd run out of gas, and the crowd, being into it after a while. Once Florida State made a little run there, it thought would make a big difference. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. You don't want to do it just because I've had about 50 ounces of coffee. It's early 6 o'clock in the morning, man. We gotta save some of that good stuff coming up. High school football, I will give you a teaser, man. The best rivalry by far we have in South Florida is going to happen tomorrow. Everybody's been talking about it. Definitely, maybe one of the best in public schools in the country right now. It's that good. Right now, though, before I tease you with that, I want to tell you about Atlantic Men's Clinic. Yeah, today I'm stopping at Atlantic Men's Clinic. Hey, girls, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Rose, how you doing? Good. Call me Joe, please. Oh, no problem, Joe. Let's get you going here, man. Yeah, that's right. Let's keep low T and ED away from Joe Rose. I want my energy. I got a little tennis game, man, and been playing a lot and walking, getting up early and walking. And she's going, what? My wife goes, what is going on, man? This has been going on. I said, the Atlantic Men's Clinic works. Sex drive is back, man. And I was missing all of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. There was I was becoming a pro at just sitting on that couch and eating anything that was around, anything from chips to cook. Nothing was safe. I gained a quick 20, finished the season about 265 here a couple years ago, and I go, this is definitely, man. Numbers are not good. High blood pressure, the whole deal. So I had to make some changes, man. Atlantic Men's Clinic, thank you. Thank you so much, because my energy was gone. My sex drive was gone. And I was thinking, holy crap, is this what retirement's going to be like? This is not good. Hey, I went to Atlantic Men's Clinic. I got the testing done, the PSA test. I met with their professionals. And I got to tell you, I know there's a lot of these places around. There's only one Atlantic Men's Clinic. Professional. They do it the right way. Check your numbers, put you on a program that's perfect for you to get great results quickly. Now, I'm going a little long on this because I think it's important for everybody to know they have 7 locations, a brand new one in Hollywood, but it's just how I feel, man. I feel so good, and I want you to feel good. If you're going through it, and every man will, ED and low T, 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment. Make the call and throw my name in there. Go to AtlanticMen'sClinic.com.
And until we stop it, that's what we're going to see. I have the utmost faith in our ability to do that. It's got to start this week, and we got to start the game faster. That's really been a theme for us. I thought we had an op in New England on 4th down to get off the field. We didn't. Really probably the same thing in Indy. I think it was a 4th down conversion that led to the extended drive. And then Buffalo, we gave a touchdown too. So fortunately, Jack turned the tides, but we had about an inch to work with. So we gotta be able to start faster in these games.
All right, Anthony Weaver. Yesterday was coordinator day for the coordinators to talk to the media. Anthony Weaver. You know, certain guys talk, and I can listen to them all day. Like if Anthony Weaver said, "Hey man, I got 4 hours off," but they're late at I give up my sleep because I like what Anthony Weaver has to say. I do, and I know how Mike is. Mike's super positive, and Coach Weaver is positive, but I think when he has to, he's been around this thing and got a good reputation. I know they're struggling right now. Some young guys are struggling, but there are 4 or 5 guys on that coaching staff, man, that I see them. I don't know if they like me, but I sure like them. I go, Anthony, you're one of those guys. Hey, here comes the old guy again, Joe Rose. Hey, Coach, how you doing, man? Hey, Joe. Anyway, yeah. So he talked about starting fast, and listen, this is no secret. He said it, and I say it. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm guessing you have. Everybody pretty much has had the same game plan. Fundamentally, run the ball between the tackles, throw a lot of short passes, and what do you think that struggling offense of Carolina is going to try to do? Even with 2 or 3 offensive linemen out, including our old right guard, Rob Jones, who got a lot of money. He's on IR. They're going to try to run the ball, and they're going to throw a lot of short passes. Matter of fact, you look at their guys. By the way, this isn't like I'm some brilliant guy, man. I look at yards per catch on that group of guys they have, and they throw a ton of passes to their tight ends. Their tight ends, the 4 of them, have 29 catches. 29 catches. Tells me they're probably going to line up in a lot of double tight end, and they are more than happy to throw short passes to their tight ends. I look at the numbers on some of those receivers, and they're throwing a lot of short passes. They are throwing a lot of short passes, and so, I think it's fair to say it's going to be kind of like what you've seen with everybody else so far. Pretty much a lot of short passes and run the ball. Be able to run it, keep running it, keep it 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, where you can do a lot of different things. Listen, man, when you get threat on 3rd and 2 that you can still run the ball and get a couple yards, or you can throw a little short pass, and teams have been doing it to us, keeping drives going, and it's been a problem. So Coach talked about, hey, man, fast start. But I will say this, and I know Jordan Phillips and Kenneth Grant have struggled. Got to keep playing them. Got to keep playing. So I know fans and our writers are getting bad about this, including Omar Kelly, who I work with. Well, you can't just because you're not happy. Well, how many weeks should I give him, Joe? He's been on this thing. Well, how many weeks should I give him? Like Jordan Phillips and Kenneth Grant before, and then before we bring in Christian Wilkins. First of all, you got to do your homework. Don't start with the Christian Wilkins thing right now, okay? First of all, I don't think he's healthy. I think he's still injured. Second of all, does he want to come back on the cheap? Miami Dolphins, I don't know a lot, but I know they're not giving Christian Wilkins a big contract for what we got when he was healthy here. He wants to come in on, if he is healthy for basically minimum. Maybe they have him, but they won't have him if they're out of it. Christian Wilkins won't be part of this. So don't just start throwing friggin' names out there of guys that still hurt or like you remember them from a couple years ago and you want to bring them in. Hey, man, sometimes the lights go on sometimes for the Dan Marino. I actually played with a lot of guys, and we had really good teams, and the lights came on real early. Now, 2 of them ended up being Hall of Famers. So it's a bad example, right, Woody? And one was Dan Marino at the hardest position, at a time when that position was really hard to play. And he came in day one. We didn't always win, but he made it clear to everybody, I can throw on anybody in this league anytime I want, no matter who I have. And he did. Right away, came in. Don McNeil, day one, in my draft class, lined up as a number 1 corner out of Alabama. And that dude, the Reverend, was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Day one, right out of he got a signing bonus, a number 1 pick, and lined up, and he was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Probably the most, because of the Riggins play, people don't realize just how good he was unless you played on those teams. Day one, unbelievable. And then Dwight Stevenson, 2nd round pick. Greatest center of all time. Wasn't even a 1st round pick. So I've been around some guys that came in day one and were like, damn, man, now I see how you guys won a national championship last year, because Alabama had won the national championship. I think it was co-champions the year, because they didn't truly have a game, and so they just named 2 teams from time to time co-champs, and Bama had some studs. But through the years, Shoes had some guys, man, he drafted, and he put them in there. And sometimes the lights go on right away, and sometimes it takes a while. But they're going to keep playing them, and they should. Last thing we need to do right now, I mean, it's one thing you give up on a veteran that's here and they're not playing well, and you go, well, we might as well play the young guys. You're right. Now, the crazy part of this football team right now is a couple guys you signed late are all playing really well. Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones. Nobody knew we were going to get them. You know, we were going all young there for a country minute. We thought, wow, okay, we're going to go with all these young guys, and all the young guys started getting hurt, and we started picking guys up, and Jack Jones is making great plays. Rasul Douglas, and by the way, not just in their coverage, but tackling. Rasul Douglas made a great tackle the other day to trip up before a guy could turn the corner, and Jack Jones has a big hit to cause a fumble down on the goal. No bigger play than that. And then the coverage, man. Those guys are not – there's been some great catches over them, including what we saw from Garrett Wilson in that last game, but that's great coverage. You can't say he got beat. Oh, he got beat. Oh, he got smoked. No, they didn't. That was a great play, period. They're not one coach going, you got to make that play. Guy had his hand in the middle of it, and the friggin' guy held on to it. It was a great catch. It was a great catch. Sometimes you have to say great catch. That was a great catch. And then they've got some other guys they have picked up last year late and now that are playing really well. We now have to get some of the young guys going, including some of the young guys from last year. Chop Robinson. And this is not to pick on certain guys, because we have some guys that are playing well. There are the 2 corners. That was going to be the position. That's the one that's going to come back and haunt us, and I don't know. And Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones did not show up for a 401k program. They showed up to play right now and show, like, hey, oh, hell no. We get this could be our last chance. We want to show the league we can play. We want more time to play this game, because that's the way they're playing it right now on the outside. Perfect for Anthony Weaver, and of all the positions. And you got 2 guys on the inside making a lot of tackles. I mean, a ton of tackles right now. Jordan Brooks and Tyrell Dotson have been just Tyrell Dotson. I mean, I know their pass coverage is not always good. But my God, man, Dotson's got 4 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, a couple of sacks, and Jordan Brooks coming off 18 tackles in a game. So there are some good things, man. There are some good things going on, but I mean, there's nothing else you can do. You got to play these young guys. And I said this yesterday to Omar. He hates it, and I know he gets eye roll. I roll my eyes when he says the same stuff to me, same junk, and I do the same. So you got to keep playing those young guys, man. The only way you take them out is if somebody on that defensive coaching staff says they have lost their confidence. They have not had success, and the fight and the confidence is gone. It happens to young guys too, by the way. It does. Guys go, I used to do this last year against Ohio State, and man, I was kicking ass. And I do it to these guys, and next thing you know, they got me pushed 4 yards out. You go, I know I'm strong. I was one of the strongest guys coming out, and now I'm getting pushed around. So sometimes, but I don't think that's going to happen to these guys. You hope not. We've had it. We've had some guys. I was going to write down a list, and of some guys. We had 2 pass rushers that flat out lost their confidence to the point. I mean, they were first round busts. 2 of them, 2 pass rushers, first round, and they did that same quick move and that long arm. They looked the part. Couldn't play. Lost their confidence early. Found out the college, the NFL, no matter what kind of competition you have, it's a different deal. Even the guy you're playing against, a veteran from a small school, that guy's probably knows every trick in the book, and they're using it on you, and now they got a book on you, what you can and can't do. So Vainai is another one, man. You got to keep playing him. Everybody tells me don't worry about his confidence. He wants to be really good. He physically knows. He just got to learn. They've got a couple things that are killing him right now. And he's got to learn what they're trying to do to him. And he's got to keep working on fundamentals, man, technique, fundamentals, but don't lose your confidence. Do not lose your confidence. We've got to go to break here. We've got a lot more stuff to get to here. Man, what a weekend this is going to be. Both the Canes and the Dolphins on the road Saturday and Sunday. Got a great high school football game we'll be talking about here. I think it's hard to imagine. I don't live in all the other parts in L.A. and stuff, but it could be. And a lot of people caught the best public school rivalry in the country. In Dade County, where so many guys have come out of both of those schools, where they play against great competition, Northwestern and Central, tomorrow at 4:30 at Traspal. We'll be talking to Larry Bluestein about that. Hurricane season, man. The noodles are I see everybody's got the noodles flying around and curving and bending, and looks like some of the field goal kickers right now in the league. I tell you something, man. Protect your home with Loctite Impact windows, doors, and roofing so you don't have to worry about that. I know some of you are waiting for another year. You got a leaky roof, and you're saying, well, let's wait. No. Replace your old roof now. You can pay later. Loctite Impact offers the highest quality roofing materials with lifetime warranty plus thousands of 5-star reviews. Save big on their legendary state-of-the-art Impact windows and doors. Impact windows as low as $6 per window per month installed. So if that's holding you back, come on, man. You can see right now, you can afford it. You can do it. They'll do great work for you. LoctiteImpact.com. Again, go to LoctiteImpact.com or call 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff, knowledgeable staff that can get the whole process started, covering all of South Florida, doing great work. Loctite Impact windows, doors, and roofing.
Miami sports leader.
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Nothing like yapping all night and coming in again with a half a voice. I always appreciate that in the morning. It's always
What
great.
was last night? You do something big last night?
I had to do something, yes. I had to go out and hit the
big event.
Not big.
No drinking, though, right?
No, you know me. I don't drink at every event I go to. That's not me.
Oh, so you did. Okay.
I sipped. I didn't.
You sipped? Okay.
Well, when I say I sipped, I had one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe,
I thought usually
maybe
sipped
two.
means like 5 or 6.
No. I don't do 5 or 6. Never. Somebody's having
That's not you, I know.
Somebody's having a drink, and they go, hey, you can have a drink with us? I'm like, yeah.
You're a big peer pressure guy.
Yes.
You get pressured into stuff very easily, it seems like. Especially on the road.
Well, I'm with my guys.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Look,
we got Charlotte on Saturday night, right? You can hit the town.
Yeah.
You like Charlotte.
I do. I do like Charlotte.
It's a good city.
We've seen every part of Charlotte. We're there when they had all the protests going on. The streets were packed. They were closing restaurants. But, hey, you guys, you're messing up our restaurant. You're walking in front of here, man. A few years back. So yeah, we've seen all of Charlotte, but I gotta be honest, and I tell everybody this: the guys that I've been with since my 20s, we do have a good time. It's very childish. It's pretty funny. A lot of family stuff, and it's very entertaining for a couple of hours, and great stories, and actually not as much football as you would think either. Not that, I mean, if somebody throws something out about something.
Talking about the Dolphins, a good way to ruin a meal.
So it's not that, but somebody will bring up something will happen, and then they'll start telling stories about shoes, and we end up laughing about the guy just going crazy. So
I mean, you don't sit at dinner and talk about how you can fix the run defense and stuff like that.
No, that's the last thing. No,
because you guys got all Sunday to be miserable about that, right?
No, that's not. Yeah. That's not those guys. Some of those guys they're over there every day. And the last thing Danny and Nat want to hear about is, something on the team. So yeah, we just have, we have a good time about stuff that happened, and we'll talk about other guys around, the league and have fun, and then usually gets to something going on. And hey, man, my group's getting older too. We're growing old together. Never thought I'd say. It's funny, and I just, on a personal level here, I never thought when I was 21, 22 years old and got drafted by the Miami Dolphins that I'd be hanging around for 40-something years with 4 guys that I got my first job here with to this day, still together. Like yesterday, too. They'll bring up something that happened, and we start laughing, or the moment where, and like, especially if it was a little dysfunctional, like if I go into the hospital story, like, because nobody walks out of a hospital on an injury.
Except for you.
I did.
Yeah.
I was one of the first to do it.
It's a great story.
So at the time, I thought I made a big mistake as I was driving home, drugged up without the surgery. But, I didn't realize how funny they all thought that story was of the whole thing. So stuff like that, they crack up about.
Yeah.
They think
you laugh about it now, but
you laugh.
Shuley said didn't think it was very funny.
No. And so some of the stuff, and we'll tell stories about other guys on the team and some of the stuff the guys did, during camp and got caught, and a lot of Shula stuff. One thing we all had was the Coach Shula stories, and he's running a tough camp, and we're like everybody else. We had some really immature guys. I'll tell you something. I think these guys are much more overall as a group, much more mature than we were. Now, Sundays was all business, and every guy, we were all on the same boat as shoes. Every guy. And we took losses hard. And that part, I think sometimes we took a little more serious, and our culture was a little better than what those guys today have. But I will tell you, man, those guys, they take better care of themselves. I think they're more mature in family. And again, you're going to have a few guys. I think we had a whole bunch of guys that were dysfunctional. You couldn't get a hold of us. We didn't have social media. and cell phones. You know, like if my first wife was trying to get a hold of me, good luck.
Well,
all you could
even
do,
if you had a cell phone,
it had to be like phone to phone, right? At home. That was it. There was no way to get away. Like, hey, you're going to get to a payphone and call her? Nah, I don't think so. And then we had this saying that was very funny. Nah, I mean, I can laugh now. It wasn't funny at the time. Hey, you going to call her? Nah. Why would she going to scream and yell that I'm already late? I'll just get home and just take the one instead of she going to scream now and then scream again. So instead of taking 2 shots from in a relationship, like you're already an hour late. We were supposed to go and you're with the guys you work with. How can you be with those guys and sitting there and having beers with those guys after practice? You've been there all day and we were supposed to go do something. You're right. Well, I'm going to be a little bit later and they hang up. So it's bad. You know, it's bad. And then you get home and it's a mess. So I just kind of figured out, well, instead of calling, I'll just go home and get it all at once at, 8 or 9 when I get home that night. Very stupid. Very, very immature. Very, I don't recommend that. Plus, everybody can get a hold of you. Hell, we got women that can track their man now. A man can track their. I didn't even know about this till recently. Woody, did you know that? I'll go, hey, where's
Yeah, I know you're getting tracked, Joe. Now, you're carrying a GPS with you wherever you go. Those phones.
I didn't realize. Like, hey, do you have any idea where Dad is? And she go, well, let's look it up.
Yeah,
he's in Miami. He's still at work. Boy, that was the worst thing they ever came out with. Oh my God, is that just terrible? Hey, where have you been? I was down at work. No, when did you start working up in Broward, in Fort Lauderdale, down by the water? Bows Beach. When did you start working there? Oh, yeah, I did stop on my way home. Hey, man, we got a lot more stuff to get to here. I got a little sidetracked. Hey, man, we do have a lot of stuff. Maybe I ought to cut back on the coffee a little bit here on a Football Friday because we got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on. Larry Bluestein will join us early 7 o'clock hour, and then we'll have a cast of characters coming on. Gets caught up with the Canes and the Dolphins this morning and everything else that's going on, including last night, 49ers. Boy, everybody to a person that does this for a living had the 49ers losing that game in L.A. to the Rams, and the 49ers got an overtime win. We'll be talking more about that here in the 7 o'clock hour. But first, I want to tell you about my friends at Around the Clock Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Man, I got to tell you, if you're going to have a problem, you know it's going to happen sooner or later. You need an air conditioning company, and you're going to need a really good plumber to come out. Well, I want to let you know Around the Clock Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Been doing the air conditioning part of this thing for 37 years. They have 135 trucks on the road 7 days a week. The plumbing started a few years ago, licensed, experienced plumbers. But Eric said, hey, man, we're going to do the plumbing. We got to get the best plumbers. And they have them for you inside, outside, any kind of problem you have. Hey, it's about great service. I know there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of air conditioning companies out there. But I want to let you know there's only one Around the Clock Air Conditioning Plumbing where service is important 7 days a week. Not only that, but with the water heater kings of South Florida, we got box trucks filled with all-size Rheem water heaters going out every day. Same with air conditioning units. We have a warehouse full of all different size air conditioning units and water heaters. And it's about installing them the same day when you can. Same day installation is always the goal. Financing plans as well to always help you out. Family owned and operated, never going to change. So the next time you have an air conditioning or plumbing problem, tell them Joe Rose said to give them a call. By the way, hang up on them if they say, I don't know who he is. 1-888-349-6922 for Around the Clock Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
This update is brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com, starting with the Panthers, who fell to Lightning 5-2. The Cats will host Tampa tomorrow in their final preseason game. They'll open up at home against Chicago on Tuesday night. Over to the Canes, who will hit the road for the first time this season to take on FSU tomorrow night. The game kicks at 7:30 and can be heard here on WQAM with our countdown to kickoff beginning at 3. In the NFL, the 49ers beat the Rams 26-23 in overtime. Week 5 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins heading to Carolina. And in baseball, the Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-0 to advance to the ALDS. Joe, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Woody, and welcome back here for a Football Friday, 7 o'clock hour. A lot of stuff coming up here, and we got a lot of news. Great game last night. Good for the NFL with the injury bug that's hitting everybody, and I do mean everybody. Some teams worse than others. Well, we say the leaders in the pack right now might be the Baltimore Ravens.
They're at first place.
They gotta make some decisions, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. It looks like Lamar Jackson might be out again this week, and
they're in trouble, man. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm being careful on that. It's a little too early. I kind of did that with the Kansas City Chiefs. I look like a dumbass because they're 2-2 and starting to look a lot better. Like they've got some things figured out. All of a sudden, the blocking looked a little better. The receivers getting Worthy back looked better. And so anyway, but good win for the 49ers last night. Banged up, backup quarterback Mac Jones goes to L.A., throws for 342 yards, throws a couple of touchdowns. All their receivers are hurt except Kendrick Bourne, and he goes for 10 catches, 142 yards. I feel like we have seen more fumbles down on the goal line, teams getting ready to go in and score, than I can remember this early in the season. Last night, a Rams running back, Williams, fumble going in for the touchdown would have put him ahead with just over a minute left in the fourth quarter. They were down 23-20. He fumbles. They score. They kick the extra point. It's a 4-point game. Rams are back out there and probably in good shape. The Mac Jones wasn't going to take him down the field because now the field goal's taken out of it. And I know the field's a lot shorter with the new kickoff returns. But you like your chances in that situation going, well, we don't have to worry about the 3, but the touchdown. And so instead he fumbles and they end up losing in overtime last night. Crazy game. And also we're going to have Larry Bluestein join us. I say this all the time. This might be the best public school football rivalry we have in the country. It's clearly the biggest we have here in South Florida. There's a lot of good private schools, don't get me wrong. But when you talk about 2 public schools year in, year out, can play with all the private schools, and they're really good, Northwestern and Central tomorrow, 4:30 at Traz Powell. Loaded with NFL players, great college players. Northwestern has just had Teddy Bridgewater not only played there a long time ago, but coached there. Mari Cooper, you can go on and on with the list of guys that come out. Reuben Bain, of course, went to Central High School as well. So they're loaded with great players that have played, and that game should be one hell of a game tomorrow. We'll be talking to Larry Bluestein about that game. And speaking of that, the Miami Hurricanes hit the road. This is a weird one. Isn't this kind of weird, Woody? 5th game, first game on the road. Wow. And I get usually you stay home the first couple weeks, but here we are going into week 5. Still not leaving the state of Florida, but we'll be going to Tallahassee to take on Florida State. They had their first loss against Virginia in an overtime crazy game. And so the Canes hit the road for the first time. It's going to be it's going to sound different, and it's going to feel a lot different. And this is where you got to grow up fast because some things will go against you. Big Mo will switch a couple of times in that game. And are you going to be prepared? Are you going to be able to hold your water, not jump off sides, and take care of business against a team? Listen, you play them on a neutral field, you feel pretty good. And so we'll see what Carson Beck, offensive and defensive line, some of the matchups, and see how the Miami Hurricanes do against the number one offense in the country. Now, the Canes defense is.
They haven't played a defense like this.
No, they haven't.
Not even close, man. But this is the game that counts. This is the one. These ACC games, these are the ones that you absolutely have to get. If FSU loses this game, they'd be in a huge hole, right? And they'd just about be out of contention, you would think, for the conference championship. So this is the one-game seasons here, man. These are the games that really count.
So, yeah, I think those guys all understand that. Miami understands their problem has not been at home. It's mostly been recently, on the road. Look, they lost some tough games late last year, and they were looking real good. And one thing they did was he said our defense got to be a lot better, and it is completely. And I think they're going to score. Florida State's going to score against them, and probably more than anybody else has scored against them. But I think they're going to get some stops, and still, this defense is so much better than last year, starting with the two defensive ends and how good Bain and Mesidor are on the outside, right into the inside. But it's also the linebacker play right now that you're getting from your two guys there. The secondary's been good. I don't know if it's really been tested, although I think Tommy Castellanos is going to make it a point, besides run around, he is going to try to hit his 6'6" target when he gets a chance. Deuce Robinson, who I don't know how good he is, but every time I see a highlight, man, he's a big target, open. He had the big crazy play in the end zone where he bobbled the ball for about 12 yards and looked like it was a touchdown, and then they ruled he bobbled it right out of bounds, and it was incomplete pass. So all that stuff. Anyway, hey,
they're a big play team too, man. And the
are.
Canes have been so good without, not giving up the big plays. There's been like one bust maybe per game here so far that I can remember.
The biggest difference has been they don't have mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
You have mental breakdowns on the field.
You had like the one late against Notre Dame, right?
You did.
That came late, and you had maybe one against Florida, but there hasn't been much of that.
So, yeah, you give yourself, hey, if you're where you're supposed to be and you get some one-on-one wins, which is what the game's really about at the end of the day, and how are Florida State tackles going to block the two guys on the outside? And can you get them in second and third and longs where they have to throw the ball? And then how do you rush? And does Tommy Castellanos does he stay aggressive off your pass rush? And if you take a wide up the field rush, does he go underneath and take off on the outside without containment? Those are all the things that they're talking about and trying to figure out. It's going to make it a fun game.
Well, I think your linebackers, you have, guys that give you an advantage there too. Those guys have played really well. You look like Torrey has played really well. But Joe, look, they're coming off a double overtime, crazy game against Virginia. Miami's been sitting waiting, getting healthy.
Oh.
So I think that's kind of a difference in this game too, isn't it? Like you had that nice week off to get healthy here. Those guys are coming off a bad loss.
They are coming off bad loss, but they got the full week.
I know, but it's still, I'd rather be in Miami's situation coming off a bye here. But
let's see how they bounce back from the extra week off. And you can put that on the keys, I guess. But hey, man, this is no excuses, except the difference is you are playing on the road for the first time. And so we'll see. We'll talk more about that. We got Larry Bluestein going to join us coming up here in just a moment. We'll talk about the big game, man, at Trask Powell tomorrow afternoon. And by the way, the Soul Bowl in Broward County, Dillard at Ely. So we got a few games that are big in Dade and Broward County. I do want to take a second to ask you a couple of questions. Are you tired of all the stress? Are you tired of all the headaches? Are you just tired of being tired? Then it may be time for you to sell your business. And there's only one person you should call. I mean that. The main man, Anthony Caliendo at the Business Broker Experts. He's a fireball, man. The best business broker in the state of Florida. Anthony doesn't just list businesses. He packages them to sell, making him the number one dog. He works with businesses of all sizes, specializing in exit strategies that maximize value. Florida is booming. South Florida's booming, man. People are coming down here looking to buy businesses just like yours. And Anthony has buyers lined up. He just needs your business. He's an expert at matching profitable sellers with qualified buyers. That's a big one, too. He's got strong relationships with the banks to help you get these deals put together. I'm telling you right now. And his clients are giving him strong 5-star Google reviews. Hey, I can keep going on and on about the great work he does, but he really is an expert. And you sit down with him, you'll see it for yourself. If you're thinking about it right now and you're ready to flip your business and cash out big, there's a guy to go to. His name's Anthony Caliendo. He's the main man. Call 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. Speak to Anthony Caliendo, the main man today. That's 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN.
Sports.
It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com.
All right, Larry Bluestein. Called him last night. Yep, he's at a high school football game. Our South Florida high school football insider. Been doing this longer than any of us that are listening right now have done their job in football. Nobody's done it longer than the Blue Meister, and he joins us this morning. Larry, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Football Thursday night. And
what'd you see last night before I jump into this Central Northwestern game?
I saw the team that's going to kind of buzz up on Chaminade over the next couple of years. It's Miami True North Academy, and I will tell you, they are getting better and better. They beat an established Jacksonville University Christian team last night, 28-8, and this is a team to keep an eye on. I will tell you, they already beat Archbishop McCarthy, who beat Norland. Definitely a good way to start things off. Last night we had a couple of games area-wise, but that was one of those games because when playoffs start in the next 5-6 weeks, that True North Academy will be a team that not going to say that they're going to beat Chaminade this year, but they're going to creep up on them slowly and over the next couple of years, just like our good friend Ice Harris, who's now at Matter Academy, and we'll talk about him as well. But you gotta watch out. A lot of these schools just don't want to stand there and let the grass grow under their feet. They want to compete, and they're starting to now.
Everybody loves Coach Harris, man. He's one of our old school favorites that we want to keep him around for a long, long time. All right. I think it's maybe the greatest public school rivalry maybe in the country, Northwestern and Central. You start looking 4:30, Travis Powell. I tease myself with some of the great players that have come out of there for people just listening to us. Central's had like a zillion running backs from Davenport to McGahee, Dalvin and James Cook. Not a bad handoff as far as brothers go. Devontae Freeman. And then you go to Northwestern, and Northwestern, I couldn't even write down the whole list. Teddy B, Amari Cooper, Levante David, who, by the way, is having one of the greatest careers of all time, still in Tampa Bay. Tutu Atwell, Vernon Carey, Tony Martin, Artie Burns, and Cam Kitchens. Not a bad old school as well as young guys playing right now in the league, just to give people an idea. I couldn't get to everybody, and I apologize, but just to give everybody an idea. And a lot of those guys, they stay, and if they don't stay, they come to those public schools where a lot of the other kids are going to private schools. Northwestern and Central is staying strong. I can't wait to hear about it. I won't be here obviously tomorrow to see it. But Blue, what do you think? What's your take on what we can expect in that game?
You know what? This is one of you know as well as I do. I mean, this is a team in Miami Central that beat. Now remember, Northwestern hasn't beaten them since 2020. So that's
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. And last year, if you remember, Northwestern at the end of the year was the darling of everybody. They shut out Jacksonville Reigns. They were the state champions in 4A. But to get there, it took a Central team to have to go on probation and not have to play.
The 19-year-old. That's right. The guy had too many semesters in high school.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and last year in this game, Northwestern lost to Central, and everybody said, okay, well, that's okay. They're going to play again in round 2 or 3 of the state playoffs, and that never happened.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen now is they're going to play again. This is let's look at tomorrow and say, okay, this is a great game, but they're going to play again for real, and the winner of that next game is going to advance the state. But you're not wrong, Joe. This is, you could take all these nationally rated teams and Matter Days and all that and stuff, but when it comes to the pure public school, I don't think there is a better and there's a more productive game than this one. There'll be more year in and year out, talking to Lou Oliver about that. They do their podcast, and we told him this is one of their featured games this week. And he knows, and he's played with and against a lot of the guys that have, Marvin Jones and people that, throughout the years that have played in this game. And this is, Yeah, if you're a football fan, this is the contest. It's the hors d'oeuvre for tomorrow night's Florida State Miami game, and that's why they put it at 4:30.
Yeah,
because obviously you don't want to run head-to-head with that. So
hey, real quickly, not to cut you off here, but we got to roll. Louis Oliver went to Glade Central, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is he a Glade Central guy too?
Yeah.
God, they were spitting them out there, man. Wow, they put out some great players. All right. Soul Bowl is, man, I remember the days of Dillard and Ely, both good and just jam-packed. And here we are, Dillard 6-0. Ely's got a couple of losses. I just feel like Ely understands how big this game is. It's going to be a good game. Do you think it's got a chance to be a good game?
Yeah, I do. They beat them last year when Dillard was a really, really good team last year, and Ely crept up on them and beat them. It's just when you have families that are split and mom went to Ely, dad went to Dillard, and you go and this is what it's all about. It's a great Broward Soul Bowl. I guess it's really taken over the Soul Bowl of South Florida now since, Northwestern and Jackson, not so much anymore. So, yeah, this is a really, really good game. Dillard has an opportunity to continue to thrust themselves into the state spotlight. They are rated statewide, for the first time in the top 30, and they should be because they've played a great brand of football. And you talk about players that have come out of those two schools, not dropping any Isaac Bruce's or Lorenzo White's names, and obviously we know Ely with Patrick Peterson and so on and so on. So yeah, I mean, but as well as I do, Joe, football. It runs kind of deep in all the bloodlines here in South Florida.
Yeah, no question about it. So, Monarch's been hanging in there, and they played a tough little schedule here early. They've got Chaminade. What do you expect in that? Can Monarch hang with Chaminade, who looks to be picking up their mojo a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think they're going to come out and play well. Like you said, they opened up a Jacksonville Bulls, which is a really good team, and then they went and played up in New Jersey against Don Bosco Prep. And then they went up and kind of, got back at Sanford Seminole. So, yeah, they've won 3 games or 3-2, but the 2 losses are to teams that are combined 11-1. So they played well. And you're right about Chaminade. Isn't this the time of year they kind of like feel, what's going to go on? They've been to state 8 straight years, which is crazy. They're going for a 9th straight appearance this year. Their schedule started off, they played St. Francis, Baltimore, Maryland. Didn't do so well.
No.
But then they've rebounded over the last couple of weeks, and now they're starting to, put things together. And, they do have it's one of those schedules that Coach Jones, front-ended it, with pretty good teams. American Heritage they played an improving MacArthur. And then they ended with Cardinal Gibbons and St. Thomas Aquinas. So it's, get going into the playoffs because sometimes, if you play all your teams at the beginning and then at the end, it's not so much. You don't get that blood flowing for the playoffs.
All right, so American Heritage Plantation came out with a bitch of the schedule. Everybody knows they just loaded it up, and they lose Diabel, which is a huge loss to injury. So they've got Flanagan. And I'm just guessing the Flanagans of the world are going, you know what? All of a sudden, this might be the time to get American Heritage Plantation while they've got some losses, even though that team is still loaded with talent. You expect this to be a close game or no?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think Flanagan's at home. You had mentioned American Heritage, getting players back slowly but surely. I heard the wide receiver Kid Bennett, who's going to FSU, will be back tonight. They were without Denson last week against Plantation, and certainly, not having Diabel in it and the lineup, they're, kind of feeling their way offensively. Still good defensive team. And, it's I don't think it's time for them to be concerned, even though classification 4A, which they're in, is going to be loaded. Norland has dropped off a little bit locally, but you have Archbishop McCarthy's picked things up. And then statewide, you're looking at St. Augustine, which is a really, really good football team. So, yeah, this is going to be a really good game, entertaining game. I don't think it's a runaway in either direction.
Hey, Blue, not to tease your head, but a little Palm Beach talk here for just a second. Atlantic's 5-0 and looking real good, and West Boca has been and a super talented team. I think you still think they're the best team. They're going to play in a few weeks. I would love, if I'm in town, to go to that game on if they do that on a Friday night. I would just love to. Are those two best teams in Palm Beach County right now?
Yeah, I do. I think so. They're 1-2, and certainly, and you got to give Atlanta credit because they did lose quite a few players from last year, but they kind of got their way with New Orleans, and they're setting the table. They're going to be playing Coconut Creek, and they beat we talked about Ely. They already beat Ely. So yeah, that's going to be a really, really good game. Got to give our friend, Jack Daniels a shout out. They won last night. They're 5-1 as well. But I think they pull into third place behind those two teams. But I can't wait. And our listening audience up in West Palm Beach is loving this, Joe. They really do. They're in the spotlight. They're getting some of that share of what St. Thomas and Northwestern and Central has gotten, over the last, 15 years. So yeah, it's
long time.
Interesting.
Hey,
I know you're waiting. I know you're waiting for that top five. I know you.
I can't. I got to close it out with the top five. It's no time to worry about hurting anybody's feelings. Who do you like right now from what your eyeballs have seen?
Yeah. St. Thomas deservingly so. I mean, they're 4-1. They played today, against Hollywood Hills, but then next week they go to London. How about that? That's what a great opportunity for those young men and for the coaches there. So they're number one. Northwestern will stay at number 2 until tomorrow night. We'll see. Central right behind them at 3. I have Chaminade at 4. And then Miami Southridge, who gets a chance to complete their game with Christopher Columbus on Monday afternoon. That game has been hanging in the balance for like a month and a half or so.
Late third quarter, down 14-7. We're going to find out just how good Southridge is because I see everybody still predicting they're going to come back in the last minutes of the third and the fourth quarter. Only here with this weather, this crazy-ass weather, do we talk about
I hear
this,
you.
right? It's crazy.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Hey.
But that's it. That's the week, and next week we'll have all the results, and maybe the top 5 will change over the next couple of weeks. But there's some really good teams, and appreciate it once again.
All right, Blue. Have a good one, brother.
Okay, you too.
You have a good one. You keep working. Take care of yourself, Blue. I can't have you sick, man. It's not good for business having you sick. All right. That was Larry Bluestein, our high school football insider. Hey, Atlantic Men's Clinic. It's a Friday. I call it Atlantic Men's Clinic Friday. And if you, my man out there right now, are dealing with low T, where your energy level, you just notice you're tired. And I know what everybody tells, as you get older, you're tired and you're not the same. Your body changes and all that stuff. Listen, man, part of that's true, but part of it's not true. You can do something about the low T. It is true. And usually when you got low T, that cousin you don't like follows it around. ED, sex drive is gone, not great. Used to be hit and miss occasionally with that beautiful wife or girlfriend of yours. Now you find yourself making excuses or telling her you're not prepared. Oh, man, it's a mess. I know it's a mess for me. I can't speak for you. But if you're going through it, man, set up Atlantic Men's Clinic. You're in for great results. I know I was, and I was full-blown. I had both brothers, low T and ED. I didn't like either one of them. I went to Atlantic Men's Clinic. They are so good at what they do, the way they do it. They test you. You set up that first appointment. You get the PSA test done. You meet with their professionals. They come in, ask you a lot of questions. You answer them honestly, and then you get going on a program they're going to put together for you, not for me, for you. We're all different. 7 locations in South Florida. Everything's private. Don't worry about that. And yes, number one question, you will get great results quickly. That's what it's all about. Brand new location in Hollywood. We've got 7 in South Florida to serve you. Call them today and set up the first one. It's the most important one. And yes, you'll get great results. Atlantic Men's Clinic works, brothers. 877-455-7300 or visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com and get more information.
It's time for Hollywood's headlines. Without further ado, here's Hollywood.
All right, Woody, what do you have for us here on a beautiful football Friday? I can't wait. I'm really excited for Saturday and Sunday, actually, and the whole NFL schedule with everything that's going on. But what do you have for me today?
All right, well, a lot of people are excited here for this Miami-Florida State game, Joe. It happens to be the most expensive ticket this weekend in college football, and that's by almost more than double.
Come on.
Yeah, the get-in price right now currently a little over $300 to get into this game. Now, this is interesting, too. I don't know if you knew this or not. They just recently did all these renovations at Doak Campbell Stadium, and their capacity is down to 67,000. So that's 12,000 less than it used to be.
Huh.
Now, I'm guessing they replaced, the quantity of seats with more expensive seats, right? Club seats and whatever. Yeah. It's kind of what they did at our stadium, right?
Put a few suites in there, a few extra suites in there. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been there. My oldest daughter did go there.
Yeah, well,
I've been up there in a long time.
You probably contributed part of the $200-something million.
Nice campus. Beautiful campus.
Yeah.
Brick campus. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they built it with bricks, I saw.
Jimbo Fisher was a friend of mine that used to invite. Remember those days?
I do remember, actually, when he liked you. I do remember that.
Spring football and stuff.
Yeah. Coach now doesn't
like you. That wasn't real popular here, so I...
What's that? Norvell doesn't
Jimbo,
like you?
I decide. He's a little different cat, as you know.
I know. We interviewed him again at the ACC kickoff.
Every Joe Rose got personal with everybody. Go ahead. What else you got?
All right. The plans for a 76-team NCAA tournament are moving forward, it seems, Joe. It says they're inching closer. They could be in place as soon as next season. The way that they would do this, and again, I love the NCAA basketball tournament.
Do we need more teams?
I've never heard anyone that watches that tournament be like, man, we really need more play-in games.
Yeah.
So anyway, they would do a 12-game opening round, which is essentially the 2 play or 4 playing games that they have. They will be played at 2 sites starting in 2026, 27.
MONEY.
Yes, exactly.
The NIT might as well go. Can we be some of your games for you to start the tournament? NIT's just.
Yeah, I mean,
you take more of their teams, and it's already teams are saying no, thank you.
Problem is slippery slope, man. College football is going to do it too, right? They'll keep expanding as long as they can make money.
Oh, they are headed to 16 at some point?
I don't know. They might get to 64. Who knows?
Oh.
Just let everyone
half the Division I teams. Congratulations.
Every Power 5 school gets.
We're going to have playoffs for the next 6 months.
All right, Joe, to the card front here. The license for all the NBA cards has officially switched hands here, and Topps, their first licensed NBA set since the 2009-2010 season.
I didn't know it's been that long.
It has been that long.
Wow.
It is set to hit markets on October the 23rd is the official release. I do believe, you may want to double check this. I'm not purchasing one of these, but I believe that they're doing pre-orders today. Now, this is the regular Topps set. So these are the paper cards, not the Topps Chrome cards.
Woody, I am blown away with the amount of people my age or a little bit younger that collect cards. Now they do it with their families. A lot of them do it with their kids or doing it for their grandkids. But it's amazing how many people, and partially because you got to love sports, first of all.
Yeah.
And the history, but also are doing it as a business or as an investment for the kids.
I don't think it's a very good investment, to be quite honest. But anyway, I'm going to wait and see what this set looks like and how much overprinting gets done here before we start buying any of this stuff here. So this will be the first release coming up here. And I don't know if I said this during this, but do you know who's on the cover?
No.
It'll be Cooper Flagg.
That
be the hot card of the year. Speaking of cards,
you don't think he's gonna be very good?
I said I think he's gonna be great.
Oh, you thought he'll be good?
I mean, I saw him play down here, and I was very impressed.
Everybody's been.
Yeah, he's the real deal. That Duke team screwed me so badly in that tournament.
Well,
So
I am really probably more than anybody else. I'm curious to see how good he's going to be in that Dallas. He's going to come in and start as a number 1 pick, but
yes, come in and start. They're not the NFL.
You don't think he'll be in a starting lineup?
Of course he's going to start, yeah.
How what will he average? Can he average 16, 17 points a game?
I would think he'd average at least that, maybe more.
Okay.
I don't know how bad that team's going to be, but it is convenient the way the NBA arranged it so that they could end up with Cooper Flag after getting rid of Luka.
I'm not
just a little swap there.
I'm not getting into conspiracy.
A little swap there for a younger, skinnier player. But Luka stuck it to him, man. He finally lost the weight. Oh, speaking of that, did you see Zion?
He lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, he lost the weight too.
How many years? So I'm just curious. How many years and people telling you?
I know
you're way overweight and you're putting too much weight on those knees. How many years do you have to play 30 games before you finally figure out, or you just figure, yeah, but when I play 30 games, I'm good for 25 a night.
No, he lost the weight.
Finally figured it out.
The Luka thing is just such it's pathetic, to be honest, man. That's when you finally lose the weight, when they trade you away because you refuse to do it.
I think sometimes.
So let's stick it to him now and do it.
Whether it's injury or just the right person. But you have to want to do it yourself. Listen, losing weight is not easy. Now we got everybody using that as Ozempic. Everybody's on it. And you know what gets me? So people, wow, you lost some weight, Ozempic. And I go, no, actually I didn't.
They said it to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I said, they go, come on. You have no willpower. I go, I understand why you think it. I'm just telling you I'm not on it, man.
I didn't know that many people were taking it. I don't really know much about it, though, so I shouldn't say that. But
everybody's taking it. I'm not saying young people.
I don't know if it's good for you now. Remember those pills everyone used to take, those hydroxycut pills?
No, I don't remember that.
No. Anyway.
Hope it's safe. That's all for everybody who's taking it.
Sure.
All right. What else you got?
Speaking of cards, Joe, Tom Brady is expanding his card vault company here. They are going to have 12 locations now. They're adding 6 new ones. A few will be up in your neck of the woods in Northern California.
Well, he's in North. That's where he's from. But go ahead. Whereabouts?
Sacramento and Palo Alto, along with San Francisco.
You know where Palo Alto is? That's the home of Stanford University.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to tell us where it is in relationship to Marysville and Milpitas?
It's from Milpitas. It's and his girlfriend. What was her name? You're such an idiot. But it's a few hours away from Sacramento. Sacramento. Okay. Yes.
And there'll also be one in Vegas. So next time we're in Vegas, we'll stop by.
Damn, Tom Brady.
And Joey,
Tom Brady's a machine, man. Everybody's took all that. He gave the Patriots a break every year and took less money for the championships. Tom Brady had a game plan. Tom Brady was nobody's dummy. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He's got to be close to the billionaire club, right? I don't wonder what his net worth is right now.
I don't care what it says.
It's just $300 million.
No way. The money he has, that his value to that little piece he got from the Raiders more than that.
That's what it says. His net worth of $300 million. I don't know.
Doesn't sound right.
Said he made over 473 from his career and continues to expand his wealth through various business ventures.
I think
it's tough to become a billionaire out there, Joe.
Tom's on his way
for these guys.
You and I. How many do we have now? I mean, we got 2 soccer players for sure at the end of their career that are made way over $1 billion. Tiger's over $1 billion.
Well, Tiger took the big hit, but now he's back. LeBron is not yet, I don't think. Is he? Is LeBron a billionaire already?
Everything LeBron owns, LeBron's way over $1 billion. He's got that production company. He's making friggin' pizzas.
Oh, he is a billionaire. Wow.
Yeah, he's fine. That's why LeBron's calling his own shot. Not to mention that little lifetime Nike contract.
That's true.
Sorry about that, Wood.
All right, and our final one here, Joe. It's an anniversary of sorts here. 30 years ago on October 3rd, 1995. Do you have any idea what happened?
No.
Think back, 1995.
I got no
Can you do
shot.
it?
I told you the memory. You got me.
On October 3rd, 1995, a jury came into a courtroom and found O.J. Simpson not guilty.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Of course, O.J. went on to have a great Twitter career and all that before
he's gone.
Before dropping.
He passed.
I know.
He passed away.
Shame. I was always very afraid of running into him somewhere.
Well, you never did because you were so scared you never ran into him.
And now you can walk around without the fear.
I ran into him.
Sure.
Bo ran into him.
You talked to him? You said
hell,
hello?
we were sitting at Bo's place drinking beers. And people were coming up taking pictures with him.
Really?
You knew that. I remember
Taking
we were
pictures
doing
with
shows.
him?
Yeah, come on, stop it.
Jeez.
He lived in Fort Lauderdale for a while. Remember,
I know he did. That's why I was afraid.
When he first came back here, he was down south and he got in trouble. Remember the illegal cards that everybody was using on the illegal cards for the that you had to get in the old days to get service.
You talking about the cable thing?
Cable thing,
The
yeah.
cable boxes, illegal cable?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was strong in that. OJ was killing in that.
Those were big back in the day, though, man. Those illegal cable boxes. Used to watch the wrestling on those
hey,
things.
man,
Pay-per-views.
you're cutting into Chris Perkins.
Sorry.
Sun Sentinel Dolphins columnist going to join us a couple minutes. We got to get caught up with Perk on and hear from our defensive coordinator as well. I could listen to him all day. I swear to God. Like nobody's business. I love listening to Anthony Weaver. Now I hope they play better against the run. Hey, Baptist Health South Florida. Man, I got to tell you, what a sports medicine program they have put together. One of the top sports medicine programs in the country. When you start talking, people ask right off, where do the pros go? And I know where it comes from, and I get it. If you have kids and they've been injured, I go Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins all use Baptist Health South Florida team doctors as well as all the surgeons and specialists. Can you get me in? I go, I can, but I'd rather you do it on your own. It's not that hard. And if they've seen this injury, this is what happened to my daughter. I go, of course. Any kind of knee, anything with the knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand, back, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. By the way, I heard the story. They did a great job of getting Tyreek Hill down and getting his taken care of and getting that surgery done. Just the great work that they do for all of us. It's fantastic. 3 great facilities, Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, Hard Rock Stadium right next to the Dolphins training facility, and 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. The pineapple is alive and well. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One go every day. Let's get healthy. Back out playing the sports we all love the most.
This update is brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Starting with the Panthers, who fell to the Lightning 5-2. The Cats will host Tampa tomorrow in their final preseason game. They'll open up at home against Chicago on Tuesday night. Over to the Canes. Will hit the road for the first time this season to take on FSU tomorrow night. The game kicks at 7:30 and can be heard here on WQAM with our countdown to kickoff beginning at 3. In the NFL, the 49ers beat the Rams 26-23 in overtime. Week 5 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins heading to Carolina. And in baseball, the Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-0 to advance the ALDS. The Joe Rowe Show continues now.
Most coordinators that look at you statistically see how people are trying to attack you, and it's a copycat league. And until we stop it, that's what we're going to see. I have the utmost faith in our ability to do that. It's got to start this week, and we got to start the game faster. That's really been a theme for us. I thought we had an op in New England on 4th down to get off the field. We didn't. Really, probably the same thing in Indy. I think it was a 4th down conversion that led to the extended drive, and then Buffalo we gave a touchdown too. So fortunately, Jack turned the tides, but we had about an inch to work with. So we gotta be able to start faster in these games.
Anthony Weaver there. It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com.
All right, Miami Dolphins set to hit the road, man, tomorrow for Sunday game against Carolina Panthers. Chris Perkins, Sun Sentinel Dolphins columnist, joins us. Perk, as I say good morning to you right off the bat, I thought you had a little Tyreek Hill hangover. As you said, it didn't look good with Tyreek Hill out for this team, losing Tyreek Hill, and it is the first time in 4 years that we know there will be no Tyreek Hill for these last 12 games.
Joe, I'm not optimistic about this offense. I hope that they do well. I really do. But, you know, the truth is, as you know, I always say this offense is built on two things, Tyreek Hill and the threat of Tyreek Hill. In the 2023 and 24 seasons, the Dolphins were 11-0 when Tyreek had 100 or more yards, 7-17 when he had 99 or fewer. So I want to see how Mike McDaniel evolves this offense without Tyreek. Are they going to try to force the deep pass? Are they going to go to that dink and dunk from last year? Do you rely on Devon Achane more? He's got a lot of options. Mike is a creative guy. Let's see what happens. But I've got to be convinced that this offense can be successful without Tyreek.
So, and by the way, very fair. I agree with you. Very, very fair about some of that. But I thought Mike called one of his best game plans, best games. Yep. And what he put in, rolling out, I think it's going to be more of that style, which did not call for Tyreek Hill to run deep last week, just 10 yards, 11 yards a catch, and keep the chains moving and 2 outside the pocket and a more of a commitment to the running game. Don't you think we saw a little bit of what their game plan is for the rest of the year last week?
I hope so. 31 runs and 25 passes. We saw Achane 20 carries for 99 yards. Like you said, we saw Tua rolling out a lot to his left. The right side of that offensive line is still a work in progress. It's kind of a, guess who's playing right guard this week game there at right guard. Larry Borum is there at right tackle instead of Austin Jackson. So, rolling Tua, if you're going to roll him out, it makes sense to roll him to the left. That's the stronger side of the offensive line, and that's his, he's a left-handed quarterback, so it makes a lot more sense to roll him out to the left. But, Joe, you've got Darren Waller there too now. And so,
what a great story.
Yeah, and it's not an all or nothing deal with the pass where you either have to do dink and dunk or you have to go deep. Waller is there for the intermediate pass. He's got his size that he can use in situational football. So third down, red zone, goal line. We saw that last week. So, yeah, there are options. I really want to see what Mike McDaniel does. Yep. He's a creative guy. I think he got stuck on relying on Tyreek a little bit too much. And now that Tyreek's not an option, I do think his creativity will be forced to show itself a lot more. So I'm very interested to see what Mike comes up with.
Well, I tell you what, a target though, like nobody's business having a 6'6" guy down there in the red zone, or as you said, inside the 10-yard line or close to the goal, to be able to throw it up. And boy, right off the bat, he threw one up high for him in the back of the end zone that just looked so good. So Omar got going about like ready to fire all the rookies on the defensive line and bring in Christian Wilkins. And, he went Omar on me, just totally out there with some crazy ass stuff that he says. I don't even know if Christian Wilkins healthy enough to play, nor do I think he wants to come here right now, nor do the Dolphins probably want him. They're going to keep playing, and they need to keep playing these young guys. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Me and Omar in that media room, we go at it.
Yes, you do.
We go, me and Omar, it's a show in itself, which me and Omar covered the Dolphins together for 6 years at the Sentinel, so it's all friendly, but we go at it. But you've got to stick with the youth movement, right? Because, and as a matter of fact, that's what I'm writing about the youngsters for my column today, that look, you've made this commitment to youth in the trenches, right? Like last year, you drafted Chop Robinson and Patrick Paul. This year, Kenneth Grant and Jonas Abayinaya. I know that they're not off to a great start as a group. Patrick Paul has been outstanding.
Yep.
The other three are struggling, but
right.
It's a small sample size. Even looking at Chop with his 17 and 421 game sample size. That's a small sample size when you talk about a career, Joe. So you've got to commit to them. And I heard you yesterday. I agree with you. You can't go into next season. You can't bench Kenneth Grant and go into next season saying, boy, I wonder if our first round pick can play. He's got to play all 17 games. You've got to figure it out. And here's the other thing, Joe, is if you talk to these young players, they will tell you that the improvement that you make between your first and second years is a big one.
Absolutely. Great point.
Going into your rookie year,
yep.
You're not training for football in the off season. You're training for the combine. You're training for 40-yard dash and shuttle run and bench press. That next season, you actually get to work on football. And we saw that with Patrick Paul. And you get to do football things, knowing the playbook. You can do football-specific drills and exercises. So I do think that there's reason to believe that even if Kenneth Grant has a rough rookie year, you could see a jump going into his second year.
So the only thing I would add to that is if you got a guy that just flat out, like we had a couple of pass rushers over the last 10 or 15 years that did lose their confidence and they were shot. Nothing was working, and they went into a funk to the point of, I'm guessing, even touched on mental health. Well, they did. And so if it was one of those situations, but outside that, these guys look like fighters to me. Jordan Phillips, Kenneth Grant, Savai and I, they look like they're fighters, man. They're going to fight through this. They get it. The team stayed behind them. They're working with them. Hey, man, it's like they're playing against the best team in the college football every week now that you're playing pros. You get good players every week. And I know there is more pressure on Kenneth Grant. And look, you took one of the top defensive tackles when you grabbed him. And the number one thing I heard about him was stopping the run.
Yep.
And it hasn't happened, and there's a little more pressure on him. I do agree, but I'm not giving up on him. I'm with you, Perk.
No, and you know what? There's even a little potential we see beyond the guys you mentioned. Jason Marshall Jr., he's out with a hamstring, but he was in there playing some nickel. Dante Trader, we seen him out there on some special teams and from scrimmage. So, just give these guys some time. I know that the Cam Smith thing didn't work out. They kind of snuck that under the radar.
Good timing on it, though. Pretty good timing with it right away. All right, now's the time to let him go. Get him out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we laughed about that.
But I do like that they decided to go with this youth movement. Who knows if it works out? But you couldn't continue spending on players like Tyreek and Chubb and Teron Armstead with no playoff victories to show for it.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about Jalen Waddle. Now the number one dude. No 1A, no 1B. You are the best receiver on this team. Nothing against all the other guys. I think they got some nice pieces that can help Mike and Tua. But this about a guy that was a high number one pick now getting a chance to be the big dog. What should we expect from Jalen Waddle and what Mike can do for him with Tua and the extra time they spent together this offseason while Tyreek was injured?
Well, I think you hit on it when you said what Mike can do for him, right? Because we saw Jalen Waddle as a number one receiver as a rookie and his second year. If I'm not mistaken, he had a rookie record or a 2-year record for receptions, and he was 1,000 yards both seasons. But you can't just leave him out there on an island, right? You can't just say, okay, you're our best receiver, go out there and do damage. You've got to figure out how to utilize Devon Achane, who had 78 receptions. You got to make the defense think, oh, they could also go to Achane. You got Waller. You got NWI, Nick Westbrook-Akine, another big receiver. You got Malik Washington in the slot.
Yeah.
You've got to make all of these guys a threat while keeping Jalen Waddle your top threat. And that makes Jalen Waddle better. But you can't just leave Waddle out there on an island and let defenses know we're going Waddle. And, then they double cover him and he never gets open. So to me, the first part of this is up to Mike McDaniel. How do you scheme this up? And then it's going to be up to Jalen Waddle to become the threat that he was his rookie year and his second year.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's amazing? Remember how concerned we were like a month and a half, 2 months ago about the cornerback position, and all of a sudden, Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas are playing really well. By the way, tackling, creating takeaways, turnovers, and then on top of that, their coverage has been really good. These two guys can still play, especially in Coach Weaver's system.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was my column today, and look, I'm not saying that these guys are going to be Pro Bowlers. None of them are going to be Pro Bowlers, but they're doing a better job than we thought. They're exceeding expectations. Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones, and now you got Cornell Armstrong coming through in the slot because Kader Kohu got injured. I mentioned Jason Marshall Jr. got injured. I like what Weave is doing as the fifth defensive back. Sometimes he'll bring in Dante Trader. Sometimes it's Cornell Armstrong. Sometimes they do the three safety thing, right? With Minkah Fitzpatrick, Ashton Davis, and Ife Melifonwu. So I like what's going on overall with Weave in the secondary. We knew they were going to be a weakness. Let's just say it. We knew they were going to be a weakness, but those cornerbacks, who I thought was going to be the number one weakness on the team, they have not been that. To me, the front seven has been the biggest disappointment. They haven't been the biggest weakness, but they've been the biggest disappointment. I like what those corners have done. Jack Jones made, to this point, that might be the Dolphins' play of the year, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you save a touchdown in a 27-21 win that you badly needed. That's a huge play. So I like what I've seen from those corners. Again, I'm not saying that they're Pro Bowl caliber, but they are definitely not a disappointment to this point through 4 games.
You feel good about the matchups with Carolina, who's got a ton of their own problems after what just happened in New England. You feel pretty good about this game, or is this another dogfight?
I think it's a dogfight. I really do. I feel good about the Dolphins winning. But I think it's going to be a close game because it's a road game. It is a game without Tyreek, your first game without Tyreek, and you're almost comparable opponents from what we've seen. Now, we know that Carolina is 1-3, but all 3 of those losses have been on the road. They beat Atlanta 30-0.
Yeah,
that was their only home game. Yeah, they beat them up. So you've got to pay attention to that. But I think the Dolphins are good enough to get this victory. And I mean, Joe, they've got to get this victory. You can't give that Jets victory back and fall down to 1-4. You need to assert yourself and build some confidence and kind of let the league know we still beat up on bad teams. Like, you can't just think that we're going to be a cakewalk just because we don't have Tyreek. The Dolphins do still have talent, Joe. But these guys, they got to kind of buck up and show what they're going to be. And I do point to that front seven as the area that needs the most improvement. We saw Tua have his best game last week. So he's on the, you would like to think
he did. He had a nice bounce back. You're right.
Step up. He did. He had a very nice bounce back.
I thought, Mike, his play action fakes were fantastic. I mean, he got my eyeballs a couple of times last week on that. Good throws, good decisions, no turnovers. All that stuff was great. Hey, Chris, thanks, man. Always nice having you. I appreciate it.
All right, Joe, we'll do it again.
No, none of the I did all that stuff yesterday, and Omar was taking shots at your personal life, and I'm not.
I heard it.
Oh, you did?
Me, I heard it, and I saw Omar down at Dolphins, so I heard the whole thing. Yeah, Bo chipping in. I heard it.
Oh,
I
no,
heard all the
Bo, Bo's a bad guy, too. He was trying to get him going. And I got to tell you, Bo's a bad man. When you see him go, Bo, you're a bad guy. You try to instigate and get Omar going, who, by the way, he showed me a picture of the girl he's with. That thing, that's not looking good, man. I hope she's not listening, but that's not looking good. That's not good.
Yeah, I had some success last weekend, Joe. I might go out tonight. We'll see. One of my boys is playing in a band up in Fort Lauderdale. But the rain might keep everybody in. So we'll see. But I might go out and take a few swings, take a few.
You know what?
We'll
a couple
see.
old school come up to, and you're like me in the old days, not now, of course. But, a little no occasionally, and no, I don't want you to buy me a drink. And my friend and I were talking, and could you leave, please? Those never bothered me. Those never got in my way. Perk, thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
I'll see you
later.
Perk, you're a fighter, man. There's no question about it. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel Dolphins columnist. Hey, man, we've been telling you about the trucks at your South Florida Chevy dealers. And this weekend, if you're looking around, you got some downtime, it's kind of important you find that new truck because you're a truck person. You and the family, that's all you drive is trucks because, well, a lot of reasons, not just to get around, maybe a working truck as well. Hey, man, we got some great ones. Like, if you don't mind, the durable Colorado with the standard Turbo Max engine and impressive torque. Really got everything you need to enjoy your lifestyle here in South Florida. But let's get into some bigger stuff. The Silverado 1500, always ready, steady, and strong. From a workday workhorse to the weekend warrior, got you covered. Whether you're working 5, 6, 7 days a week with your truck and still like the toys on the weekend, boy, I'll tell you, that truck can do it all for you. How about the Silverado HT? Legendary horsepower and one of the hardest working beds in the business. So bottom line is this, whether it's a midsize, full-size, or heavy-duty truck, we got one that's absolutely perfect for your lifestyle, what you need. And as durable and strong as you are, and the work you need, working 7 days a week sometimes, boy, I'll tell you what, you got a truck with your South Florida Chevy dealers can work right there with you every day. See your South Florida Chevy dealers this weekend for outstanding offers going on right now.
All right, Joe, before we get back to it here, we have last day, maybe last day, unless we do it again next week. Our sister station, Kiss Country, is bringing back Stars and Strings featuring Hardy, Dierks Bentley, Dasha, Nate Smith, Zach Top, Hudson Westbrook, and more at Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood on November 6th. For your chance to win tickets, text the word country to 20357. That is country. And you need to send that to 20357. If you want to buy tickets, go to starsandstrings.com. Stars and Strings supports Folds of Honor. For more information, go to WQAM.com. This is a text contest. Message and data rates apply. Do not text and drive. And, Joe, on the topic of country music, do you know what today is?
No.
Taylor Swift's album comes out today.
How many albums she had? I thought she just came out with one like a couple months ago.
I don't keep track, but I do know that it is today because it's very popular, apparently.
My daughter just got back from Kansas City and told me that she is all over her stuff. She is like right up there with Patrick Mahomes and her soon-to-be husband.
Really?
Like they are it in that city, in that area. So
she's very popular, yes. And her album came out today. So
okay.
Give you a little listening on the way home.
No,
there,
I probably got my own music, man. It's fine. And I don't dislike her. Every time I act like I don't want to run out and get some, you think I don't like her. I like her. Listen, I have great respect for what that woman's been able to do. Hey, man, you can by yourself fill up arenas everywhere in the world, like 4 days in a row, stadiums.
Yeah.
I said arenas, stadiums.
Honestly, though, she doesn't need to tour on this album, I don't think. You know, I just the touring thing's enough, right?
I don't know.
Because we don't have to go through that again with the tickets. That wasn't fun.
No.
That was not a good situation.
Our wives and kids getting dressed up.
God. I could buy those stupid bracelets.
They were nice, though. Thank you.
Great.
I'm amazed how much my daughters and my wife liked them. Thank you, Woody. You scored big.
Friendship bracelets, how do they call them?
You got some new friends.
Yeah, great. Then they trade them with each other at the shows. Freaking weirdos, man.
All ages, grown-ass women.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's one thing you got daughters in their 20s, grown-ass women. My age are doing it.
Great.
Hey, you got to give that woman credit. She's created all this stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, like the album released in movie theaters or something, and people have been packing movie theaters across the country.
Woody, stop, man.
We were talking about billionaires earlier. My God, man.
No, she's if we're doing our billionaire show, she's been in there for a while now. Yeah, she's one of the originals here for her age to what she's been able to do. Man, we got it's gonna be a fun week. I can't believe it's already here tomorrow night. We were just talking about it. Miami going to be able to beat Notre Dame at home and how they do against the Florida Gators. This before the season, and you looked and you saw the Gators at the end of the year, how well they were playing. And then South Florida beat some, and you're going, wow, watch out for South Florida. And now, not knowing, honestly, none of us thought Florida State was going to be this good off of what they had done the year before. And Florida State gets off to a great start. So here we go. Game 5 at Florida State tomorrow night, and the first road game, first ACC game for the Miami Hurricanes, and we'll see how they do. We'll see how they do with noise, and I know Mario's big on the noise out there because we were out there, and that stuff was super loud. But ain't nothing like every time I hear somebody run it, and you're going, oh, this music is loud, you're going, it doesn't sound anything like a stadium. Nothing in common with a stadium. Indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. You pack a place, it's and college atmosphere is wild. Those kids be half liquored up from all the fraternity and sorority parties and tailgating going on for all the people that spend money that get to go in those special areas. What do they call? I don't know what they call them up there. They call them the Seminole Club, or they have a name like the Bull Gators. There's the not sure what Florida State.
Who cares?
What are the Florida State people have money? Anyway, here we go. Carson Beck takes his team up there. And we're going to find out just how good they are and see what happens. So that's going to be fun. Then, of course, Sunday at 1:00, the Miami Dolphins will play their first game without Tyreek Hill in a long time. Listen, one thing about Tyreek Hill, he did not miss very many games, and this was 4th year. But we do know he will not be around for the last 12 games of this season. And Carolina, going on their radio shows up there, they got their own problems. Talking to guys up there, they've got trying to figure some things out. I'm a huge Dan Morgan fan, who's a general manager. Mom and dad live down here, and the family's down here, and he was one of the great Miami Hurricane players of all time. I got to tell you, man.
He's such a good dude, too, man. What a nice guy.
I think he's probably really good at what he does, but
yeah,
I don't know what's, the owner, they got an owner that likes to be involved.
That's never good.
He likes, remember the whole thing on the quarterback? The owner and his wife had dinner and said, this is our guy. This Alabama quarterback's our guy. Yeah. By the way, nobody's even talking about that, but did Bryce Young replace Tua as a quarterback, or am I missing somebody in there in between?
I think you might be missing someone. Wasn't Jalen Hurts involved in that?
No, Hurts went.
Mac
Jones.
Maybe?
Mac Jones had to be the.
Where did Jalen fit into that?
He went to Oklahoma. He was there, but he left when
he
Tua took over.
So Tua took him. Okay.
And then he went to Oklahoma and got his stock back up, and is now one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, actually. So, hell of a story. Boy, they got some problems there. The wide receiver, they paid him, so he's happy with that. But he. How long will, and they're 4-0. Like, there's no problems. Like, the only thing's really important is winning, unless you're a wide receiver and you're going, we're winning, but I'm not catching the ball. Like, my numbers don't look like, I look at the stats and they put the top dudes. I'm not in there. That's not good. Hey, we got more stuff to get to. DBJ.
So interesting QB matchup, by the way. We'll see who's the worst Alabama quarterback going in that game.
I'm betting money right now that Tua
outplays the other guy?
And won't even be close.
Okay.
All right. Hey, listen, we got to go to break here. We've got DBJ, Don Bailey Jr. going to join us. We're going to talk about a little trip to Tallahassee coming up here. But before we do, want to take a second this morning to tell you about a couple of guys that are pretty special out there when it comes to personal injuries, whether it's a slip and fall, automobile accident, Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah. On their behalf, knowing them now for a while, these guys, boy, I tell you what, they care. They care about you. They're partners of Cohn and Judah Injury Law Firm, personal injury attorneys, implantation, the same partners who handle your case from start to finish, more than 30 years of experience each, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results, small enough just to call you back. I want to say this. If you're not happy, you sign with one of these law firms that they're on TV and you see the lead guys and the music sounds great and you can see they spend a lot of money on a commercial, and you get there and you've been led to believe that that guy's going to handle your case, and now reality's kicked in, that you've had a lawyer handoff, they call it, the old lawyer handoff to a couple of attorneys in the other room handling a whole bunch of cases at the same time, and you are no longer a priority. You're just a number. If you're not happy and feel like that's how you're being treated right now, you can walk out the door and say, I'm not going to be with you anymore because I'm going with Gary and Harvey. And I understand, because they're going to keep you updated, communicate with you, let you know how your case is going. Go to ConanJudah.com, read the reviews on what people are saying about them. Unbelievable. Go to ConanJudah.com or call 866-FAIR-FEE. And just remember this, they don't pay other lawyers to do the work you hire them to do.
time to head back out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com. Joe, this guy has some bye week buildup here. Just speaking to him.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even imagine. He's been in probably every coaches meeting, going over everything. He's probably with the line of scrimmage, the guys on offense and defense, patting them on the back going, this is a big one, man. First road game, FSU. We need this one, baby. I can't wait for this myself. DBJ, how you doing this morning?
I'm a little jacked up, Joe. I'm a little ready.
No, man, you wait for these kind of games. This is, we tried to go, Notre Dame's a big rival in Florida. This is the big dog that you play every year right here, right? This is it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, the Florida one, I wish that was played every year, but for some reason they've decided to chicken out on that. So I don't understand it. But
all right. Really kick them when they're down. We've got our ass kicked 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Until they get that coaching right, it'll be us. I understand. But they, but I mean, I think that for many, many years, the Florida game was there. And then, you go back and really Coach Snellenberger and Coach Bowden perked the Florida State Miami deal back up. And since that timeline, it's been phenomenal. And really it's a lot of times it's come down to be a national championship game or a playoff game. And it's kind of looking that way again for tomorrow.
Do you remember when Bobby Bowden said after, I think it was Butch Davis, maybe I don't know if it was his first year, but he went out there and told him, boy, I'll be glad when you guys are good again. And took some kind of shot. And the next thing you know, old Butch had this thing loaded up, ready to go, man. And it was just kind of like they played off that. Hey, I always, before I go into the game, a little history lesson. Your favorite game in Tallahassee that you remember that they won, and maybe one guy that stood out, because I have a game that on a rainy day up there,
Sean Taylor, man. Sean Taylor rain game.
Greatest thing I've ever seen. He played like there were 14 guys. I never seen a guy. One of the greatest games ever I've seen played.
I'm with you. Excuse me. It's not even close. I mean, to me, I was dumbfounded by the amount of plays that guy made. I've never seen, at college, there were some guys in the NFL that could take it over like that from time to time. But I think when you go back, if you look at that game, the only thing that kept him from being the greatest performance of all time is that he didn't line up at receiver and score. He didn't line up at running back and score. And he didn't do things on offense. But that was as good a game as there was in a crazy environment and conditions. And it set a standard that we've yet to match.
So let's get back to line of scrimmage. Mario's got exactly, I think, for the first time since he's been here, what he wants it to look like with Bell, McCoy, Brockermeyer, Cooper, who looks like having a great year at right guard, and, of course, Maui Noah, everybody's been talking about, Bain, Mesidor, Moten, Blay, and Scott. Is that pretty much where it starts for this game?
I think it does, and I think that since the first minute Coach Cristobal stepped foot on the campus, this was the vision that he had, and he's put it into place, and he's going to continue to build on it, Joe. But, it's a lot of people don't like to talk about line of scrimmage, but you can't win a football game or you can't win championships unless you have it, and you really need both sides of it. And I think that's what you're starting to see right now. They've got the perfect marriage with Coach Heatherman on defense and how he's coordinating it, and Ruben Bain and Mesidor here are peaking at the right time, and they're starting to get. I think the guy that's kind of really going to have a big one is Moten. I mean, you've got, and he's really started and had a very, very good season to date, and he's getting better and better and better. And I'm seeing him put in extra time after practice, and that's always a good deal. So, that interior guy can make as many problems as those two ends can.
Tommy Castellanos. I'm not worried about the guy that throws. I know he's going to complete some passes. I'm not taking shots at him, but thing that gets me, boy, if he sees a lane open or pass rushers go up the field and there's nobody underneath, he is off and running. Hopefully you're not man-to-man when it happens. What are they talking about and how you slow him down? He's going to run a little bit. There's nothing you can do about it, but we don't want him flirting around with 100 yards running in this game.
No, I don't know. Well, and think about the statement, which I have, but as far as just a pure football player, let's not say he's a runner. Let's not say he's the quarterback. Let's just say if you're putting a guy out on that field, is there anybody on either side at any position more dynamic than him? I mean, he's just makes stuff happen. But you have to monitor him because you go back to the Virginia game and he made a couple throws in that game that
Boy, did he.
are as good as there can be. But the run to me is what causes the most problems.
Okay.
He'll throw some picks and he'll you can disguise some things, I would imagine, to make it difficult for him. But that run game of his is phenomenal. And he's about 40% of all offensive output, as far as passing yards and running yards. He is the offense.
They take Deuce Robinson, the 6'6" receiver. That's just man-to-man on the outside. You can't double team him. We need those corners to look like NFL corners, right? Both guys on both sides.
Yeah, because they're playing NFL receivers.
Yeah.
I think, Deuce is, and I throw out the middle two games they played, but he did a great job against Alabama and then made some phenomenal plays against Virginia that just wasn't enough for them to win. But, you're covering a legit 6'6" guy that can run and make every catch. And then the other thing is everybody's kind of focused on Castellanos and Deuce, but Joe, their backfield is excellent. They've got a committee themselves of guys that are powerful and speed. And then there's a couple of receivers that they have. Everybody can run. It's standard Miami, Florida State, where everybody can run at every position. So
I'm guessing Carson Beck, and I'm not taking a shot at him last game, but the one interception, the no touchdown passes, we're going to need to get more out of Carson in this game.
Well, I think Carson needs to do exactly what he's supposed to do. And I know people panicked after the low output as far as yards go, but understand the game plan really, when you go back and look at it, how it materialized, because you come in with a plan and it probably half of it goes out the window in the first 5 minutes, but was to run the darn football. So I'll take Carson back and 160 yards. I don't want to pick every game, but we rush for over 200. I'll take that on Saturday, because I think the run game's the keys on Saturday.
So the one thing he's done that we haven't talked about this, but his patience to throw it underneath. I got no problem. We got guys open underneath and they can turn and get 9-10 yards on the play or 11 yards and move the chains. I'm fine with that. We got a bunch of guys who run great routes underneath, give him always something to throw to. But I get the sexiness when you want to be the top quarterback in the country is to show everybody you can throw it down the field a little bit, which he can if somebody's open. And Florida did a pretty good job, it looked like, at taking that away. You agree?
They did, and I agree with you. But I think what you get with Carson Beck is you get a mature quarterback who his stats are padded enough. I mean, really, when you look at it through all what he can't do, he's still 3 touchdowns to 1 interception over 5 years. And coming from the Southeastern Conference, what he's done in Miami. And when you look at the body of work, it's there. And I'm okay with the check down. I want first downs. In a game like this, I want first downs and I want time of possession.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure about the turnover battle, because the main thing this offense can do to help defend against Castellanos is hold on to the football. Just hold on to the football, and he's on the bench.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, man, hey, it's amazing, this Bain story. And it's really hard for me to talk about Bain as good as he is. I saw some of these mock drafts that already have him way up there in the first round. And yet Mesidor, I've never seen – you talk about a guy that's gotten a lot better. What happened with him? I know he's been banged up. He looks like a different guy on the outside. What's different about him that he's improved so much?
I think the main thing he did is he got himself in perfect condition. You know, he's probably playing at about 260 now, and he was bigger than that, and he had a lot of body fat, and he's matured, and both of those guys, Bain and Mesidor, And you talk to Jason Taylor, he'll tell you, I bet the first thing comes out of his mouth is their work ethic.
Yeah.
And then their attention to detail and technique. So everybody wants to just line up and go. Those guys are becoming getting doctorates in their field as defensive line play from Lewis and from Jason Taylor.
Yeah.
And they're taking in the coaching, and they work well together. And listen, the scheme helps, and the guys inside, Blaze giving them a better look than we had last year. Scott's doing a great job. We talked about Moton. That inside group sure makes it work on the outside, but I still go back to the main thing in football, Joe, is work ethic and technique, and both of those guys are mastering their position.
Yeah, no, it is. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. And, of course, you'll be there with Joe Z, jacked up, and should be a lot of fun. DBJ, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, and I can't wait. I've never been so excited to be on the road and sit back drinking a little bit tomorrow night watching that damn game.
Have fun, Joseph. I appreciate it, man.
All right, you too. Don Bailey Jr. with us this morning, talking a little bit about the Miami Hurricanes. We got 9 o'clock hour coming up, which means it's Mike Florio time. We'll be talking to him coming up. Right now, I want to talk to you about some serious business. Dr. Barry and his staff helping you with what could be a little mental health problem. You got a little bit off the road. It has happened to all of us. We've all been off the road a little bit. Not everybody. Shouldn't say that. Put everybody in my own category. I should stop doing that. Hey, I just want to let you know, Dr. Barry and his staff can help you and take care of it. Recovery Unplugged. That's what it's all about. We're always talking about game-changing plays on the field, but here's one for your mental health. Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health has a beautiful mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale. For 12 years, they've helped over 20,000 people heal with expert clinical team and innovative treatments like ketamine therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. If you or someone you love is going through some tough times, it's time to make that call to 954-737-4508. Let them put together a winning strategy for you to help you directly if you're listening right now or somebody you know that's going through it. 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. Everyone deserves a great season in life. Recovery Unplugged. Heal out loud.
This update is brought to you by Darrell Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Darrell Hyundai or DarrellHyundai.com. Starting with the Panthers, who fought a Lightning 5-2. The Cats will host Tampa tomorrow in their final preseason game. They'll open up at home against Chicago on Tuesday night. Over to the Canes, will hit the road for the first time this season to take on FSU tomorrow night. The game kicks at 7:30 and can be heard here on WQAM with our countdown to kickoff beginning at 3. In the NFL, the 49ers beat the Rams 26-23 in overtime. Week 5 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins heading to Carolina. And in baseball, the Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-0 to advance to the ALDS. The Joe Rose Show continues now.
Macaques.
What is
Not
it?
macaques. It's macaques.
It's a macaque.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Macaque.
Macaque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Macaque. It'd be even more macaque in Boston. It wouldn't be macaque in Boston. Macaque.
Got De La Cruz and Sanchez returning in the corner outfield positions. They can play all over. Chisholm is gonna start in center field.
What do you always tell you? You're a bad, bad man in the 9 o'clock hour every Friday. You're
well,
just,
Chaz got the shutout win yesterday, part of that, huh?
Hey, I got news for you. He made some unbelievable plays. He's done.
Yeah, when he's not
hustle
sulking,
plays.
he's good, yeah.
He took good attitude. He wasn't happy about not playing in that first game or not starting in the first game, and came back and likes the big lights, man, the big show. And all right. I know what that
Let
means.
me run
Go
through
ahead.
a few of
Go
these
ahead.
if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind.
Hit me
Joe.
with before we get to Mike Florio. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to London Sunday morning. Browns and Vikings. Minnesota favored by 3.5.
Oh, God. A bad game. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I'm going to skip a few duds here and like Giants and Saints. We don't care about that. How about Colts and Raiders from Indy? Colts favored by 6.5. Do they bounce back?
Yes. Colts big.
Good game at 1 o'clock. Eagles and Broncos from Philly. Philly favored by 3.5.
There's going to be a little upset there. Denver's
Wow.
going to take them
Okay.
down.
Ravens and Texans. Houston favored by 2.5. The game is in Baltimore.
Ravens. I just can't imagine losing to the Texans.
Okay. Tampa taking the long trip. This is a 4:05 game. Long trip to Seattle here. Seattle is 3-1. The Bucks are 3-1. Seattle favored by 3.5.
You said in Seattle?
It is in
I'm gonna
Seattle.
take
Tough
Seattle.
place to play.
Yeah, it is.
Long trip.
Seattle is who are those guys? Yeah.
4:25. Chargers and Commanders from Inglewood. LA favored by 2.5.
I'm going to go Chargers in this one, even though I know their quarterback's back, Jaden Daniels.
Good one on Sunday night here, Joe, and you can ask Mike about this one. Bills and Patriots from Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 7.5.
Oh, man. I'm going to go Buffalo.
All right, and finally, Panthers and Dolphins, 1 o'clock from Charlotte. The Dolphins are favored by 1.5.
Yeah, Dolphins are. I feel better about this game than I do the Jets game. I'm just want to let you know.
Very surprising to hear.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do a couple quick college games while we have a minute here? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me with the Gainesville game.
All right, well, we got a big one here in Tampa tonight. South Florida and Charlotte. Bulls favored by 27.5.
Oh, yeah. South Florida's going to run it up on them tonight, big.
I know you're going to be watching that one tonight.
Oh, my God. That's the first thing I want to do tonight.
Let's see here. Saturday, we got Georgia and Kentucky. That's a good one, but Georgia favored by 20.5 there.
20.5, huh?
Game from Athens.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia.
Here's a doozy. North Carolina and Clemson from Chapel Hill. Clemson favored by 14.5 over the Fighting Belichicks.
I think Clemson bounce back is going to be big.
Texas and Florida from Gainesville. Texas favored by 5.5. These low spreads, man, makes you feel like the Gators are going to get one of these games at some point.
Oh, man, I agree. Boy, I can see Manning struggling against that defense. God, that's a tough one.
Quick.
Gators get a win.
All right, Alabama and Vanderbilt stealing the game day here. Alabama favored by 11.5 from Tuscaloosa.
I like Bama. Bama's playing a lot better.
Louisville, 4-0, hosting Virginia. Snuck into the top 25 there at 24. Louisville favored by 6.5. Game is in Louisville.
Louisville. And by the way, that's a good game. That's a good game. That's a good ACC game.
I'm going to throw this one in here at you, Joe. UConn hosting FIU. UConn favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take UConn.
Okay. And then finally,
I know that I talked to that coach on the phone. Yeah. A lot of time.
Which one? UConn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good friend of mine.
And then finally here, if you can, Miami and Florida State from Tallahassee. The Canes are favored by 4.5 points.
I like Miami to stay mature and play the way they can and get a win. Not get sloppy. They haven't. They've taken care of the ball, been able to run it. I trust my running backs to hold on to it. And Carson Beck's been in a few of these games.
I'm with you. I feel great about the game, actually.
There's a surprise.
Same way you feel great about the Dolphins.
No. I got you.
We got to stay true to our
throwing it back.
Our own companies here. So,
okay. Jeez, you're getting there. All right. We've got Mike Florio from Pro Football Talking to join us here in just a second. But before we do, I want to talk to you about Michael Crotchy at Choice Mortgage. Man has no life. He is always working to get you a mortgage and get you one fast. Boy, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of great programs. He can get you approved, get you the great rates, fixed rates in the 5s right now, whether it's a first-time home buyer program or self-employed, been declined by the banks. He's just been able to help so many people. Debt consolidation's a big one. Need the cash. He can help you, and he just does everything so fast. And, of course, what we used to call the reverse mortgages, and now we just call them a program for seniors. You can convert that home equity into money, and you're sitting there with that home paid off or almost paid off, got a lot of equity in that home. He can do it for you. Go to Google Reviews on the web. That's Choice Mortgage Reviews. Here's his phone number, 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. As I said, 30-plus years in the business. Does great work. MLS 166254. Rates and terms are always subject to change daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
Sports.
On a Football Friday, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk joins us. And, boy, I tell you what, Thursday Night Football, last night, 2 timeouts, 4th and 1 in overtime, and you're going, Sean McVay's got something that's going to be really special. He runs right up the middle and gets stopped. And I'm thinking of all the other teams that have probably done that, and people are just ripping them during the day. What'd you think of the call?
Well, it's funny because as soon as the third down play ended, you could see that Sean McVay was calling the next play, that he had that resolve, almost like a Dan Campbell. No doubt, we're going for it. And then it got weird. Like, they put the offense out there, they let the play clock run, and it was like they were trying to get him to jump offside. And then Matthew Stafford started to walk away, and he started to come back, and it's like, are they going to do one of those weird trick plays where the quarterback starts to move and they snap it to the running back? And then I thought they were going to kick the field goal. And then they come back and they do it again. It's the most basic play, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, although it was less than 1 yard at the end of the day, and they failed to get it. It was just such a deflating way to end that game because, you know, we've seen games where the momentum builds to a crescendo and you feel it's inevitable that one team is going to win. That's what it felt like was happening in overtime for the Rams. And then all the air goes out of the balloon in just one moment. It's like, well, the 49ers won the game. And, you know, Joe, the thinking is when you take the ball second in overtime where both teams are guaranteed a possession with an important asterisk, but when you get the ball second, if the team that had it first scores 7, well, if you score a touchdown, the analytics say go for 2, go for the win, don't give the team the ball back again. And I think that's what Sean McVay was thinking at some level. If I kick the field goal here, assuming it doesn't get blocked again, right, they're going to get the ball back, and it's sudden death. So let's just go for the win here. So I think the decision itself wasn't all that complicated, but, man, it was just a weird play call. And you expect a team coached by Sean McVay to have something better than that with the game on the line.
Yeah, that's kind of where I started this thing. And, you know, the other thing is, I mean, I think it's good for the NFL because 49ers got so many guys out, and they found a way to go on the road and get a win is impressive because we got a lot of teams that are banged up, and we're kind of wondering how they're all going to play. Hey, Vic Fangio, a couple days ago, started whining a little bit about these new footballs that these guys have and these kickers. My God, they're 60 now. They're going to be 70 for some of the guys. And now on top of it, I added the kickoff returns. Seems like everybody's getting to the 40 now on a return, or if they kick the ball out or they miss the landing zone and the whole deal. Have we gone overboard on this thing? Is there something they can do to cut back on the distance? These field goals, we're going to see a lot of 60-yarders this year, Mike, a lot of them.
Well, I think that as long as the NFL likes it, it continues. What the NFL likes stays. What the NFL doesn't like the tush-push, potentially goes. So they want points, they want excitement, and we got these long-range field goals now. Now, we were seeing them last year. They seem to be more consistent. Like last year, the narrative was, man, these 50-plus yard field goals are automatic now.
Right.
Now it's like, man, these 60-plus yard field goals are automatic now. And the key difference is for about 20 years, they restricted access to the K balls. You got 3 balls, brand new out of the box, 60 to 90 minutes before kickoff that your equipment staff could work on to break in, and those were the kicking balls for the game. Now, Joe, you get 60 balls at the start of the season, and you show up with 3 of them every given week. They can be used 3 times in the season, and there are do's and don'ts as to what you can do, and there's some loopholes in there. You can do a lot of stuff to break that ball in now, like never before, or at least like it was before they had the strict K-ball procedures, because there was arguments and speculation and rumor that, you know, they were putting them in dryers and ovens and soaking them in water and doing all sorts of stuff to just create a bigger sweet spot. That's what it's all about. You're trying to create a bigger sweet spot. You're not trying to put flubbergas inside of it, although I'm sure some coaches would be inclined to attempt it if they could. You're trying to create a bigger sweet spot. And now they've got more time to work on those balls to create a bigger sweet spot for the kicker, and it's working.
So I want to ask you about a couple of former head coaches. John Gruden, with the latest John Gruden ruling that came out for him. You think he ever coaches again as a head coach in the NFL, or if he wants a job, he's going to have to go to college?
You know, there's been a weird sense that it's moving toward Gruden returning to the NFL. because we've seen him do some consulting work. And I know of at least one team that has done some internal analysis on how he would be received, given the emails that he sent that started this whole problem. Now, it was exacerbated by the fact that somebody leaked them, and that's what his pending lawsuit is about, that these were strategically leaked in order to end his employment as head coach of the Raiders. But I don't get the impression that the locker room, the NFL locker room, will reject him because of those emails. As one person explained it to me, a player said, we hear a lot worse every day in the locker room. So I think he would be accepted by a team of players. The question is, would the league office tolerate it? And a lot of that depends upon how this lawsuit turns out. He got a win yesterday. Now, it was a perfunctory move by the NFL because they had to go back to the Nevada Supreme Court, request a rehearing after Gruden won in August on this question of whether or not his lawsuit is going to play out in court or whether or not it's going to go to the secret rigged kangaroo court of arbitration that the NFL tries to put every lawsuit in, because it works, because you keep everything secret and you win because the arbitrator's in your pocket. Hell, the arbitrator's the commissioner in some of these cases. So that's what the NFL always tries to do. And their last-ditch effort is the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a tough hill for them to climb, but they're going to keep trying to climb it. And then, one of these days, we're either going to find out who ordered the code red or the thing's going to settle. But I think John Gruden's future employment in the NFL is going to hinge on how this case goes. And, they could try to butter him up. They could give a nod to a team that wants to hire him. And maybe the fact that he's back in makes him less inclined to go hard after the NFL. But, Joe, it all obscures one very important fact here. Look at John Gruden's record since he won the Super Bowl. Look at John Gruden's record since he returned to the Raiders. He was not good in his second stint with the Raiders. Mark Davis was never going to fire him, but the question becomes, even if he's capable of being hired by a team, should he be hired by a team?
Well, he's becoming a hot Mike. He's becoming a hot name in a lot of cities that aren't happy with their head coaches because his name's out there, and we get it a lot here that they want John Gruden. And then just to follow up to that, Brian Flores, who's defensive coordinator, had a great year last year, a little different look this year. You think Brian Flores ever gets another head coaching job?
I think his lawsuit is an issue too. Look, after his first year with the Vikings, when he did really well, he got no interviews. Last year they did really well, had that great record, 14-3. He got a couple of interviews, but it was never anything close to being a final hiring of Brian Flores. He's got a case pending against not just the league, but the Dolphins, the Giants, the Broncos, and the Texans. So you can cross those teams off because organizations don't take kindly to people that sued them. Yeah. Now, you're not supposed to retaliate against people who use their available avenues to get their grievances addressed, but employers don't like it. And he will very easily be shunned, and I think that's the big concern. That's why what he did was so impressive. I never thought he'd coach again in the NFL. Art Rooney II deserves the initial credit for allowing Mike Tomlin to put him on the staff right after that lawsuit was filed. And then the Vikings deserve credit for hiring him to be the defensive coordinator, even though that lawsuit was pending. But that thing's still pending, and it's a big mess for the league. And again, companies don't like to be sued. That's the bottom line. And we'll see where it goes.
Hey, Mike, Sunday Night Football, Packers-Cowboys ended up being a great game, except for people who get up in the morning that didn't stay up late or did. You're going, wait a sec, you can't have 40. We got to get a winner. I was like, so what do you say to people? 40-40, and you're going, wow, nobody's got anything to show for what just happened and all the numbers and everything else. So what do you think of that? 40-40 tie on Sunday Night Football.
Well, I don't like ties. I never did like ties. I was so happy in the early 70s when they brought in sudden death overtime. And we have seen tweaking of sudden death overtime. It dates back to the 2009 NFC Championship when the Saints got the opening kickoff. They got a couple of first downs or a couple of questionable calls against the Vikings defense. Garrett Hartley kicks the field goal, and the Saints are in the Super Bowl. The reaction to that was to create a modification to the rule where if the team that gets the ball first gets a field goal, you can match it. If it's a touchdown, they win. Now we're in the age of guaranteed asterisk possession for each team. It works in the postseason because the second team's always going to have a full and fair chance to move the ball. My concern in the regular season, 10-minute overtime isn't enough time for both teams to have a full and fair possession, and we will have more ties. We will have field goal on the opening drive and 3-4 minutes left by the time the other team gets it. They drive down the field, field goal as time expires, and that's it. We get a tie, and that's what happened on Sunday night.
Right.
There's another thing. I think the broadcast needs to do a much better job of this, and I can always tell when the broadcasts are failing to send the right message by the number of questions I get from readers and viewers about this. What happens if the team that gets the ball first takes the full 10 minutes and scores a walk-off touchdown or field goal?
Wow.
What happens because the other
Right.
team's guaranteed a possession? And the answer is simple. The other team isn't guaranteed a possession. It's over. The team that hogged the whole 10 minutes wins, which means we need to get back to 15 minutes. And here's what will happen, Joe, because we know how the league is. They react. They don't proact. When somebody takes the full 10 minutes and kicks a walk-off field goal or scores a walk-off touchdown, in the next offseason, the overtime will go back to 15 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, real quickly on this one, and I know everybody's been hitting it all over the country. Rex Ryan went off pretty hard on Shedeur Sanders and his behavior, which has been a topic for everybody, and the way he responded with the writers. What'd you think of it overall? I know Shedeur Sanders taking a lot of heat and not being grown up. What'd you think?
Well, look, I know that anything and everything that Shedeur Sanders says and does is going to create a headline, but you can control the quality of the headline that's created. In that setting, what he needed to say is, I'm happy for Dylan Gabriel. I'm here to support him, and I will continue to do everything in my power to get myself ready to play. The fact that he did the mime routine in response to Rex Ryan, first of all, why do you care what Rex Ryan or anyone else says on the outside?
Right.
Like, who cares? Who cares? And especially, I mean, all due respect to Rex Ryan, when's the last time he coached? 2016?
Yeah.
Like, there's a point where it doesn't matter what this guy says. So don't react to him. And here's the problem. When someone who sees how you react to something needs to know the whole story in order to properly understand why you did what you did, you run the risk of someone not knowing the whole story and just thinking, that was weird. And why would you undermine Dylan Gabriel by miming your responses? So, you know, it's like an inside joke. You better make sure people understand the inside joke when you deliver the punchline. Because if they don't, they're going to look at that and say, what the hell is going on here? So that was my takeaway. I don't think he should have done it. I don't think he should care about what Rex Ryan or anyone else says. And I think in a situation like that, when you do what he did, you really risk that someone's not going to understand why you did it. And they're just going to think you were acting improperly.
Yeah, I saw the guys in ESPN had to explain the whole thing, and so did everybody else, so that it made more sense. And by then, you know, like you said, a lot of people have already made up their mind about this thing. I still think he's going to get a chance to be a starting quarterback. I think that Cleveland mess is not done yet. I think there's a lot more problems than just a quarterback on that offense.
He should have said yes to the Ravens. He'd be playing this weekend.
That's right. That's right. It's a good point. Mike, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you coming on.
See you, buddy.
Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. Hey, we got more coming up here. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel, Dolphins columnist, joins us next.
Sports.